My name is Jimmy Blue Thunder. I'm a Delaware Indian from Oklahoma. I'm 51, and right now I'm unemployed, and I've been homeless now for nearly 4 months.
The Occupy movement spread like wildfire to thousands of cities across the globe. Unlike other political protests, this new movement is characterized by the remarkable physical occupation of parks and street corners, squares and plazas at the heart of cities, big and small. But there is another group of people who have been occupying these spaces for many years prior to the Occupy movement, and still do. They are the homeless.
What made you come down here?
What made me come down here? I was homeless. I'm homeless. And I came down here and I listened to what they said and I like what they said. You know, and I understand corporate America. You know, by working in the field and security, and I've worked in mostly these offices around here, and I see how they are.
There have been tensions between the homeless and the newer occupiers. Some homeless feel invaded or are suspicious of the occupiers' motives, while some occupiers feel the homeless are just taking valuable resources from the movement.
There's quite a bit of homelessness. It just sucks because we don't really have that much support of the homeless. If anything, a lot of times they'll come down here and just like eat, and then they'll like leave and not really stay.
It was for a cause, but it's more homeless people out here in the tents now than the people that came out here to protest for jobs, education.
Because of this sentiment, the homeless have been turned away at some camps.
So I pretty much saw like Occupy Cleveland as like a downtown outreach towards the homeless, towards helping all people. Like my vision of it was like a 24-hour soup kitchen, free food. Unfortunately, like every time I left the kitchen, people would step in there and then turn the homeless away from food, or turn them away from giving them blankets or giving them supplies. So I definitely have made a point to make sure that it is an all-inclusive camp. After just reasoning with the people in the camp that were originally turning down homeless, they've definitely opened their eyes and like turned to my side. I have one friend who was like the point person on like kicking the homeless out. Now he like sees the importance of all people helping this movement, especially the people who have experience with occupation.
At Occupy Detroit, volunteers served hundreds of meals every day, 90% to the homeless. And where the homeless were embraced, a cooperative relationship has formed at a number of camps.
There were definitely tensions with the homeless community and the occupiers at first. Basically, it was a lot of statements such as, when you're gone, we'll still be here. So the way we handled that was, we're here, we're not going anywhere anytime soon. While we're here, you're here with us. So have some food, some comfort, and some shelter. If there's anything that we can do as a bigger part of this movement, we want to help you.
They're feeding everybody. They're helping everybody that I know personally. Like I've been in and out of here for 2 years. They're helping them out, and they feel better about themselves.
At many occupations, the homeless are expected to get involved in the movement, and many welcome the opportunity.
I was always taught to earn your keep. You know, so I took it upon myself, and I, you know, along with another young lady, helped fold it, labeled the boxes and all that. I just took down one tent and put up a bigger tent so I have more room, because we're getting a lot of more donations.
The homeless population that exists in Detroit has been struggling for years. They've been struggling in secret. They haven't been publicized, and I hope that this Occupy movement brings them to light, if anything. And they are being integrated in the movement. Not only are we feeding them and helping them in our food tents and our comfort tents, but they're volunteering to help each other in the food tents and the comfort tents. And they're coming on our marches and speaking about their experiences, because a lot of these people weren't homeless 5 years ago. They were people like any of us. They got affected by the economic crisis in a profound way.
The homeless are also bringing their own skills to help the Occupy movement survive in the long term.
Not only are we like helping them, but they're helping us. The homeless have been occupying the streets for like decades more than us. And most of these people, like, they know how to last through the winter. They've been such a huge help with like teaching us how to like set up our tents in a right structure, how to like keep extra warm. I remember one tip this homeless woman was giving us is put like garbage bags in your shoes, and then that way you can keep a little bit warmer.
Most Occupy camps have no drug, no alcohol, and no violence policies.
We're pretty good on policing ourselves. You know, I mean, like I said, if you notice the signs coming in here, it says no drugs or alcohol allowed. Violation means eviction. We catch you with drugs or alcohol, you're out of here. We don't play no games, and we're pretty good at policing ourselves, and we don't have had no confrontations really. There's been no fights, no arguments, you know. Sure, people get heated in some of the GAs that we go to and trying to make things by consensus, but other than that, it's been pretty good.
But elsewhere, mental illness and substance abuse among some homeless have become too great a burden on the camps. In Austin, Texas, mostly homeless remained while other occupiers eventually left the encampment. In New Orleans, occupiers camped in the shadow of City Hall, in a park that once hosted thousands of homeless from Hurricane Katrina. As in other big cities, the problems of the homeless strained the camp.
Definitely people always threatening to kill each other and like attacking each other, and I think that's gotten a lot of people like pretty like fed up with what would be considered like daily social interaction within any kind of like communal movement, especially one with long-term goals that I would think that the Occupy movement would have.
Occupy New Orleans formed into subgroups of tents with fences, in part as working groups with different responsibilities, but some say the subgroups were also for protection. At the same time, the camps are often a safer place for the homeless than the streets, and a more hopeful place than the shelters.
Most of the homeless shelters give a person shelter from sunset to sunrise. So at 6 o'clock in the morning, they got to get out, whether rain or shine, you know. So here, at least people know that this is a safe environment. So they come here, they gravitate to safety, and they gravitate to where some of the basics are being met with.
Walking into that area where they have the shelters and the Jesus Saves and the St. Francis, something happens when I get in a certain radius of that. It's like a spirit of slumber comes upon me, and it's a miserable reminder that I'm not where I want to be, and that I'm no different than people who have become content with their homelessness for years and years and years. And I don't want to do that.
A movement for the 99% should include the homeless. But with limited energy and resources, can the Occupy movement serve all those in need and change the system that produces homelessness to begin with?
There are people too. They're part of the 99%. They're the ones that are discriminated against. They are the most oppressed people and silenced people in this country. So, I mean, I think we're here for them more than anybody else.
This world will not survive. This world will not survive if we all don't come together.